Trump. I'm Eric Boeing in for Sean tonight. The president helped House Republicans pass a bill to repeal and replace Obamacare. He took steps to protect religious freedom in America. He signed the new spending bill to keep the government's lights on, and the unemployment rate has just dropped to the lowest level in 10 years. When it comes to the commander-in-chief's biggest win of the week, though, health care. Democrats are stooping to new lows to try and scare Americans.
Well, people are going to lose their lives. People are going to lose their health coverage. And these people think it's a party. They think this is something fun.
You were talking about it as some kind of a health care bill. It's not a health care bill. This is a massive tax break to the top 2%.
You know, deeply saddened by its passage because it means, of course, millions of people are going to lose their health insurance.
Senator Sanders, earlier this afternoon, you tweeted, quote, Donald Trump and Republicans just celebrated voting to let thousands of Americans die so that billionaires get tax breaks. Is that really what you think is happening here? Do you think thousands of Americans will die?
Absolutely. No question. This will cost American lives if it ever becomes
Oh, God.
This will mean death.
Really?
Pain and suffering to people's families.
Like you guys did with the veterans?
Will fall on some of the most vulnerable members of our society. Let's put this bill in a coffin, not Americans. Let's kill and bury this bill. Thank you.
Really a stupid bill. It is a bill of deconstruction of government.
Well, this bill has a long way to go before it reaches the president's desk, but it looks like the Democrats are just getting started. Joining us now with reaction is counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, have you ever seen, in literally just hours after the signing of the bill, we had 5 or 6 lawmakers saying people are going to die if you sign this bill.
It's so disappointing, and we have faith in the American people to know that that's not true.
Yep.
The Democrats lost everything not nailed to the ground in the last 4 elections, Eric, mainly because of Obamacare. It's been a terrible political loser for them. 938 state legislative seats, governorships, the control of the House, the Senate, and now the White House, in part because of this issue. We know what all the horrors of Obamacare have wrought. 20 million people last year opted out of it. 6.5 million Americans said they'd rather pay the penalty, they'd rather pay money than be part of Obamacare.
I didn't sign up for communist Obamacare.
Control. People had a health
Hell
insurance
no.
card, which is the worst possible outcome because they couldn't use it. It was the deductibles were unaffordable. What this does is the president has made clear, and he leaned all the way into this. He worked the phones. He had the meetings. He was right there with the House of Representatives getting this done, and the Vice President. He is telling people your premiums will go down, your deductibles will go down. There's extra money in there for Americans with pre-existing conditions. That's a feature of Obamacare that's popular, and that is retained here with extra money.
I think a lot of people were concerned about that pre-existing condition issue, and that seemed to be solved with the additional $8 billion that was put into the bill. But talk to us about reducing the cost and price for not only health insurance, but health care. How does the bill do that?
The bill does that several ways. There's more competition in the system. You've got more flexibility to the governors with Medicaid because they have, they are closer to the people in need, and they know what their population needs. Having top-down care from the federal government was never a good idea. It's what Americans say is so intrusive, invasive, expensive, and expansive. Obamacare is the best example of a federal government that behaves that way. Also, there's money here to help people meet their deductibles if they need it. There's $100 billion for people with pre-existing conditions. There's the extra $8 billion for people who have a pre-existing condition and happen to live in a state that opts out, so that they want to be granted the waiver. You're still protected. That was a feature that was important to some of those fence-sitting Republicans who came to the White House the day before the vote was taken. And so it's just a much better free market, patient-centric system. It also allows you almost to double your contribution to health savings accounts, which is a free market solution that allows you to have more control over your health care spending, allow people to pool together who don't have employer-sponsored coverage like most of us do, or government health care through, say, Medicare, Medicaid, or veterans benefits. It allows them to get access to care.
Kellyanne, I was one of the people out there who was pushing back on the original Paul Ryan bill because it didn't really introduce any competition. It didn't seem to introduce any substantial competition to the insurance companies so they can compete for our dollars. Does this add that? And how does this add it?
Yeah, it's a big competition. We don't have competition now. Just this week, 94 of the 99 counties in the state of Iowa, Eric, they have one provider now. Aetna said it's coming out of all these exchanges. Medica in Iowa said the same thing. Just this week, we had exhibit A of why this isn't working.
But these are examples of, that you can't sell
Less
insurance over state lines. When does that provision get into this legislation?
Well, that's something that's been very important to this president. He has talked about that all through the campaign, all through the transition, and now as president, it's important to him. The Senate, as you know, will be writing a bill, or they will take up the House bill. That's up to Leader McConnell and the Senate. And Leader McConnell and the president are in regular communication about health care and everything else. The other thing is, let's not pretend and let's not forget, because the Democrats want people to forget and just to scare them.
Yep.
How we got to this place. 41 states saw deductibles increase. There's been an average of a 40% increase in people's premiums, 100% increase in some places. You have states now and counties, about a third of the counties in this country, all but 5 of the 99 counties in Iowa, that only have one provider. That's not choice, and that's not competition. And by the way, where the hell were those Democrats, excuse me,
Thank you,
when
Kellyanne.
veterans were dying, waiting
That's
for care?
right.
I didn't see them coming on TV with hosts that just sat there listening to them,
Mhm.
and they're screed. When there were veterans dying for care who deserve better, this president 2 weeks ago signed the Veterans Choice Act. He expanded it so that if you're a veteran who cannot
God
get
bless you,
timely
Trump.
quality care at a VA, you can access the private system.
I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to get to this. You and I both live in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey started when Obamacare came out with several providers. They're down to 2 now, and by the end of this year, they'll have 1. The state of New Jersey will have 1 provider, and that is the problem with Obamacare.
That's the problem with Obamacare, but our United States Senator was on a different network saying there's going to be pain and suffering and death.
That's Cory Booker.
You're able to say, people say he wants to run for president in 2020. You can't run for president scaring people and going on TV where no host asks you to produce any kind of evidence
That's right.
whatsoever that such death and destruction are going to befall people. I think they're running scared because they don't have a message. There's no economic message.
That's Hillary Clinton,
They
Obama, and
have
George
no
Soros
connective tissue with
wanting to
working
scare the
class
public.
Americans. This last election with President Trump proved that.
I don't
Even
want to
since
be
he
one
got
of those
here.
talking heads on the other side who didn't ask you about this. I really, really think it's very, very important to get that second phase 2 portion of competition across state lines.
Very important to
If
President
you're
Trump.
going to reduce the premiums, for me, that seems like it's the only way to do it, other than having government put more and more money into the system, which I think a conservative doesn't want to have.
And remember, even though the Democrats made this very partisan yesterday, the president did not. You heard Leader Kevin McCarthy say the first time President Trump called him, he said, don't give me a health care bill that's good for the Republican Party. Give me one that's good for the American people. And even yesterday, although he said the Republican Party came together because we couldn't rely on any Democratic votes, we welcome them. Tax reform, infrastructure, we welcome your help defeating ISIS. Come aboard, Democrats. But we had 0. But he wanted something that actually helps Americans. We hear from people every single day who are suffering under Obamacare, and this is for them.
I don't have a lot of time. The Freedom Caucus somehow came on board. What was it that pushed them over the line?
Well, I think it was a better bill for them, and it had more competition in it, less spending, perhaps less, I should say, wasteful spending. But also, I think it's the personal relationships that the president was able to build with Mark Meadows, the head of the House Freedom Caucus, with Tom MacArthur, the head of the Tuesday group, also from New Jersey, and even people who aren't part of any of those groups, where he kept saying, how do we get to yes? He's the ultimate deal maker. He's the most brilliant communicator and national connector with people I've ever seen, and that goes beyond the electorate. Now it works with his own Republican conference in the House. He was able to talk to them very patiently, very respectfully, invite them in, talk to them on the phone. He and the vice president, I think, deserve the lion's share of credit on that.
He now has a bit of a tall order. He's going to have to do a little deal making on the Senate side of the equation.
That's all right. That's why he's there, and he can do it. He will do it.
Going to leave right. Kellyanne, thank you so much.